Today we're going to talk about how you can be charged with a crime for someone else's stuff. Whether that stuff is a gun, drugs, or anything else illegal, you might find yourself asking, why am I charged with a crime for their stuff? Let's talk about how this happens. The most common scenario where my clients get charged with a crime for stuff that is not theirs typically happens in a vehicle. So let's say, for example, you and your best friend are out riding on a Saturday night. It's a good Saturday night. You're not up to anything malicious. You're just simply driving to somewhere, listening to your music. This is your very best friend. He has been for years, and you completely trust him. Because he's your very best friend, you also know that he is lawfully able to carry a firearm, and for whatever reason, you are not. But this is your guy. You're always together, and whenever you're together, he always has his gun. We could have been superstars. You're riding down the street, minding your own business, and suddenly an officer pulls up behind you. He flashes his lights and he pulls you over. This friendly officer approaches the vehicle and he says to you, "Hello, can I have your license and registration?" And you hand it to him. Your license is valid and so is your registration. But then he asks another question. "Do you have any weapons in the vehicle?" To which you respond, "Yes, officer. However, my best friend here has a gun permit." The officer then says, "Where's the weapon located?" And you tell him, "It's right here in the center console." Mr. Friendly Officer then says to you, "No problem. Why don't you both step out of the vehicle to make sure that we're all safe? No one is handcuffed. No one is detained at this point. No problem." Again, your best friend has a handgun permit. As the stopping officer is doing his checks of your license and registration and preparing to write you a ticket, you suddenly realize there are more officers arriving on the scene. Back up. That's never a good sign. "I really think our time is up." The stopping officer now returns to you and becomes the arresting officer. He advises you to put your hands behind your back, to which you respond, "Officer, is there something wrong?" "Yes, let's get to it." Why are you still being arrested if your friend can legally possess this firearm? It's a legal concept called constructive possession. That means even if you are not in direct physical possession of an item, if you had knowledge of that item and the ability to control that item, then you could still be charged with illegal possession of that item. So in this particular scenario, if the police believe that you knew about that gun and that you could have possessed that gun, you could still be going to jail. There are several things that they will look at or take into consideration to make this determination. One of those things is where the gun was located. Another thing may be what you said about the gun. And then another thing may be what your friend said about the gun. Now, it's not safe for you. If a consideration of each of these things lead to a determination of probable cause that you could have possessed that item, then you could be charged. So what's our weekly wisdom here? First, remember to always signal within 200 feet of turning your vehicle, drive below the speed limit, and renew your license plate so that you do not get pulled over. Second, do not put yourself in a position to be accused of possessing anything illegal. And third, just because your friend takes responsibility or may be able to lawfully possess an item, that does not mean that will always save you from getting charged with a crime. That's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see other specific topics or you have questions about this topic, please let me know in the comment section below. And most importantly, if you want more weekly wisdom or more videos from Katie the Closer TV, please subscribe for future video notifications.